Hey, welcome back to the Realm of History. Really excited tonight to be here with you. Love doing these live review sessions with you. And of course, just really excited to get into the topics and materials that you're going to really want to know for tomorrow's quiz. How about a quick shout out to my newest sponsor, M. Zarnick Photos? What a fantastic, exemplary representative of the realm. That's Miriam Czar. Fine young lady, extremely talented photographer. I'll tell you that. She specializes in team photos and action shots. So, hey, if you're on a team, if you're looking to get some great action shots, message her. You saw the Instagram there. Let's get that done. Thank you to all my sponsors. Racking them up. If you want to get on the live review intro, all you got to do is let me know. I'll take care of you. I always take care of my Realm family. Hey, we hit 500 subscribers today. When I say we, because, hey, the Realm is a family. I never would have thought I'd make it to 500 subscribers, but I'm only halfway to the goal, trying to get to that big mark of 1,000. Okay, check in with me. Give me a shout out. Let me know that you're here. Go ahead and like this video so we can jumpstart that YouTube algorithm. We are going to have the Realm Hunger Games coming up, first time ever. So make sure that you are in attendance, paying attention, ready to rock and roll, being here now. Let's talk about what we're going to get into today. Of course, have a little bit of key advice for you at the beginning. We'll take a look at most of the key figures today, a couple of the key terms. There's really no need to go over a short answer. I'll have a brief AP advice preparation section. It won't be much. Then actually, instead of number 5, we're going to do Realm Hunger Games. I'll explain that when we get there. I've got the magic box that has Daisy and Daffy Duck. Yeah. I'm sorry, that's Daisy and Minnie Mouse. Sign of weakness by me. But all the cards, all the numbers are in there. So I'll call off a number and then it'll correspond with the grade book. And we'll go from there. And then I will answer all your questions at the end there, maybe some final advice. All right. Key advice first up. Make sure that you're writing things down from this session. I really want you to also read your outlines tonight several times today, several times tomorrow. The girls and the boys, neither of you have mass tomorrow, so you should be able to use Seminar to read those notes. Make sure you read the AMSCO 5.1. That's going to be imperative, not only for the content part, but especially on the AP part. Hey, make sure we're praying for the right things, right? We got to put things in perspective. Remember that all you can ever do is give your best possible effort for this quiz. Please don't pray for good scores on this quiz. Pray for people who are in need. Pray for your family members. Ask the good Lord for guidance to help you do the best that you possibly can and use your talents to the fullest. I think that's the most important thing. Number 3, be here now. Listen, today was a tough day. You're all coming off a break, right? You've been out for a week. We also had a snow day the day before we were going on break. So you want to make sure that you're mentally focused. You guys say, well, you're dialed in, I think. I think that's a new term. I like it, but get dialed in, focus down, be here now. Number 4, I say this every time I'm doing a live review, but I think it's really imperative. You got to say thank you to your parents. Tell them that you love them. Say thank you for all the blessings that they've bestowed upon you, all the gifts that they've given you, all the sacrifices that they've made for you. If you need to step away from the computer and go do that now before you forget, go do it. That's the most important piece of advice that I can give you today. You got to understand that life is short and you can't take it for granted. So you need to make sure that you're talking with your parents, telling them about your day, and of course, saying thank you and expressing your gratitude on a daily basis. Number 5, I think the challenge this week is coming off a break, having a review day, taking a quiz. I totally understand that. It's just how it felt. We had a week. We covered chapter 22. I'm not going to bump the quiz back. We've got a lot to cover. We've missed a lot of days. So that's the challenge. We got to rise to that challenge. We can't complain. Don't waste your time thinking, oh, why is Mr. Langle giving me this? That's not going to help you. Okay, if that's your attitude right now, you're falling behind. That type of attitude is a waste of time. That gets you nowhere in life. Just focus on what you can do and do the best that you possibly can. And that's all anybody can ask. That's all I would ever ask of you. All right, let's get into this right now. I'm really excited. I think the key terms, the key places, the key figures this week, so important. There's 17 matching questions. Those matching, if you know your key figures, you're going to ball out of control. Okay, so please make sure that you're paying attention right now. I put more effort into this one. I think I've got longer definitions than ever before. So I want to make sure that you guys are covered in full. All right, let's start with your boy, Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton was a mathematician, a physicist, brought together some of the theories and discoveries of Copernicus, Johannes Kepler, your boy Galileo, under a single theory of motion known as universal gravitation. Now, to extend that, to stretch that out a little bit further, basically, this theory of motion is universal gravitation. That's that every object in the universe attracts every other object. The degree of attraction, though, depends on the size or mass of the object and the distance between the two objects. Okay, that will impact the degree of attraction. Next up is your boy Francis Bacon from England. He wrote a book called Of Studies. And in that book, he encouraged scientists and other scholars to conduct experiments and draw conclusions from those experiments. This sounds a lot like the scientific method, but back then they called it either empiricism or the experimental method. I think I have a type error there. It's a sign of weakness by me, but I think you get the idea. Okay, next is Copernicus. Copernicus, I just heard that they're going to offer Polish as a language at St. Mary's next year, 2023, 2024. They haven't had that since I was a student there, I believe. Maybe my first couple years teaching, they had it. So that's pretty cool. Copernicus was a famous scientist from Poland, by the way. So he has a little bit of a connection to the cultural practices at St. Mary's Prep. After studying planetary movements for many years, he was an astronomer that reasoned that the stars and the planets revolved around the sun, an idea that eventually became known as the heliocentric theory. Please understand, this is very controversial for the time. A lot of people believe that the Earth was the center, including the Catholic Church. Okay, so, and when we say universe, remember, we're really talking about the solar system that we know today, but back then they called it a universe. Okay, so heliocentric theory, that the sun is the center. He did not publish his book. He did not publish his findings until he was on his deathbed. Okay, that was because he feared persecution from not only the church, but other scholars as well. All right, moving our way down, we're going to talk about Rene Descartes. A lot of questions about Rene Descartes. Some kids were calling him Rene Descartes. No, it's Rene Descartes. He's a famous mathematician. He said the famous quote, "I think, therefore I am." So he was certain of his own existence. That's what that quote's about. Everything else, though, he was kind of skeptical about. He's like, I need to be proven. You need to prove to me through reason what you're talking about. So he developed what's called analytical geometry, which links algebra and geometry. Most important, though, is that in his writings, he urged scientists to rely on mathematics and logic rather than experimentation. So he's a little bit different than Francis Bacon. That's one thing you have to understand. Next up is Galileo Galilei, Italian astronomer. He agreed with Copernicus on the heliocentric theory. However, despite his genius, he lived the last years of his life under house arrest by order of the Catholic Church because, see, what he was saying and speaking out freely about went against the teachings of the church. Okay? And that's heresy. And so they had a lot of his books canceled and they put him on house arrest. He had to recant or take back what he had said about the heliocentric theory, even though he was right and he knew he was right. When he signed the confession, he said, or it's rumored that he said, "And yet it moves," meaning the earth moves, not the sun. Okay, next is Mary Wollstonecraft. She was a famous feminist. She worked in the feminist movement back during the Enlightenment, so 1500s, 1600s, 1700s, that range there. She wrote a book called A Vindication of the Rights of Women. And in that, she presented an argument that women should also be educated. She believed women should have equal rights to education and equal rights elsewhere as well. All right, moving our way down the list, we got your boy Beccaria. A lot of questions about Caesar Bonassana Beccaria today. Most often, I think you should understand that he argued for criminal justice. He believed that there should be laws that protect criminals. He believed that they should have a fair trial. He wanted to move against torture and other common abuses of what he called the justice system. Montesquieu is up next. Baron de Montesquieu is his real name. In his famous book on the spirit of laws, he proposed that a separation of powers is necessary to keep any individual or group of government from gaining total control in the government system. Now, when we talked about this in class, I said to the class, hey, what does this sound like in modern terms? Most often students said, hey, a checks and balances system, which we have in our form of government here, which is the three branches, right? Well, constitutional monarchy back then was something that the British practiced. They had a king, but they had a constitution that limited the king's power, okay? So he was a proponent of constitutional monarchy at a bare minimum, but he didn't want one entity, to have too much power. So checks and balances, a separation of powers, that's what your boy Baron de Montesquieu was all about. Next is Jean-Jacques Rousseau. He disagreed with a lot of the other philosophers, and he thought that civilization actually corrupts people's natural goodness. What that means is he argued that laws and things that structure society actually hold people back. So therefore, he believed in very small government control of anything, almost anarchy, and he wanted to have people with individual freedoms, which would be a form of direct democracy, where people would literally have the ability to vote on almost every issue. The ancient Greeks had the first form of direct democracy. Problem with it is that it took a really long time to do those votes. All right, next is Voltaire. Voltaire's pretty big time. He used a form of writing called satire, which is kind of like using irony or wit to attack people. He attacked the clergy, the wealthy, even the governing system. And he fought for freedoms like speech and religion, among other things. Got himself into a lot of trouble with his writings. But he says, hey, I do not agree with the word that you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. I think that's really the strongest quote that we've had this year from a key figure. That's really powerful. Next is your boy John Locke. Locke believed that people could improve, and he taught that they are born with three natural rights: life, liberty, and also property. And he says, hey, if the government doesn't protect those natural rights, the people have the power to overthrow the government. So he wants limited government involvement, limited government control. Hobbes, on the other hand, actually came before Locke. Hobbes believed that people are generally wicked, generally selfish, and therefore they really needed strong government to protect them and keep order. He said that people should give up some of their individual rights in exchange for law and order, which came from the government. And he called this idea the social contract. Joseph II, I'm going to shorten these ones up a little bit. Joseph II abolished serfdom in Austria. Though it was short-lived, after his death, it was reversed. But he was an Enlightenment ruler, an enlightened despot, you could say, from Austria. He was also the son of Maria Theresa, famous female ruler. Classical musicians here: Haydn, Mozart, Beethoven. They are the three classical musicians that we talked about, all from the same city of Vienna, Austria. Frederick the Great was the ruler of Prussia. He ruled as an enlightened despot. When we say enlightened despot, these are rulers that embrace some of the Enlightenment ideas. Denis Diderot was the editor and publisher. Basically, he put together the world's first encyclopedia. Marie-Therese Joffrin actually had a play in that. She paid for it. She funded the Diderot Encyclopedia project, but she's most well known for running the most influential salon in Paris during the Enlightenment. And remember, when we learned about salons, they're not places where people got their hair done. They were places where political, scientific, scholarly thinkers came to debate and discuss the key ideas of the time. Mostly these were run by women. Marie-Therese Joffrin was the most famous female salon owner. Thomas Jefferson, he came into play in Section 4. He wrote the Declaration of Independence. The Articles of Confederation, a lot of questions about the Articles of Confederation today. Basically, it's a document that established the first national government of the 13 individual states. That's what you really want to know about that. All right, moving into AP info, okay? Here's what I'm going to tell you. Obviously, you had to do the reading from AMSCO 5.1. I will tell you that the topic, there's going to be, by the way, while I'm talking about this, I'm not going to put the essay on the bad boy tomorrow, okay? So that will take a little bit of worry away from me. There just seemed to be too much stress about it today. Maybe if it wasn't off the break, I'd be like, okay, they're stressed. I'm going to give it to them because they need that stress. They need that challenge. But because it's like we're one day off the break, I think I'm going to give you I'm going to give you another break, and I'm going to take the essay off entirely. No essay on the content, no essay on the AP. Right now, currently, because I just made that decision tonight, I have 3 MCQ questions on the AP portion. After this session, though, I'm going to check my resources to see if I can come up with a good SAQ. So since I'm not giving you the essay, I'm likely going to add 1 SAQ question onto the AP MCQs. Now, here is the topic of the MCQs. I've already got that one selected. So there's 3 questions off of 1 prompt. The prompt is heavily related to feminism. Okay. So there's only a few options of people we learned about in the content, and a few females mentioned in the paragraph on feminism in the Enlightenment from 5.1. So if you haven't read 5.1, I strongly suggest that you do that. Okay. I haven't checked the comments yet. Hopefully people are being appropriate there, right? The comments are usually pretty funny, but we gotta keep it appropriate, right? Okay, I'm going to take a big risk here, try something totally new on live. So I like to take on challenges too. Welcome to the first ever Realm Hunger Games. Really ready to rock and roll here on this, see how it works out. I apologize if it's a flop or a failure, but this is your chance to earn extra credit. Let me talk about how this is going to work. Here's how this bad boy is going to run, okay? You really need to be able to win this by putting your answer in the chat. But like in the Hunger Games, from each district or class period, I'm going to select 2 ballers or ballerinas. Whoever I select, those are the only people that can answer this question. So once I read the question off, do not spam the chat. If you're not one of the ballers, you can lose points for your class if you put a comment in there. So we need chat silent unless you get pulled from the magical Disney box right here, okay? I'm going to shake these bad boys up. What I have in here are numbers, okay? On the attendance sheet, I've got your names and I've got a number next to it in alphabetical order. So whatever number I pull out, it corresponds here for second hour and so on. So right now we're going to do this live, okay? I'll reshake the bin after each class. So right now, representing second hour will be player number 19, which is Adam Zielinski. He told me he had a game. So unfortunately, he told me today he had a game, so I'm not going to have him play. Number 10, player 1 is Craig Hartley. Hartley is going to represent for second hour as player 1. And player 2 is 12, Jacob Jarjosa, Jacob J. So hopefully they're on tonight. We'll find out shortly. All right, so I'm going to put these bins back in here. And I know you're going to say, well, you let second hour have somebody who's not there. He definitely told me he wasn't going to be here. So second hour has to take the quiz first, so that's their 1 token. Okay, that's their token. All right, I shook these bad boys up. We're going on to third hour now. Okay, third hour has only 14 ballers, so we'll see if it's under 14. We got a 16, so that's not valid. We got a 24, not valid. We got a number 1. That's A. Blair. A. Blair is going to represent in the first ever Hunger Games, sign of strength. And we got number 13. That's Addison Sullivan, A. Sullivan. Yes, Addie. Sign of strength. Okay, we're gonna put the cards back in the bin. We're gonna shake it up again. Sorry, this is taking a little bit of time, but letting you study a little bit for the Hunger Games, see what questions come your way. All right, these are the 5th hour ballers. These are the 5th hour District 5 representatives. Player number 22, that is Sophie Saz. Sign of strength. Sophie Saz is representing. And we got baller number 10, that's Reese Clanow, Reese K, representing Hurdle Queen. Yes, indeed. Okay, let's get it going back here. We're going to go to 6th hour representatives. Oh, boy. This is a nice matchup. We got a good matchup going. All right, 6th hour, we got baller number 19. That's Joseph Nager. Jay Nager. Yeah, buddy. And we got baller number 4. Oh, my. Number 4 is the protector of the realm, Roman F., the protector of the realm, key baller, representing. Wow. 6th hour's got some ballers in there. All right, let's go to 7th hour. 7th hour representatives. Who's going to be so lucky to represent from 7th hour? Let's see. Shaking that bad boy up. Oh, donkeys. We got baller number 4. This is no joke. Can you see that? That's Amanda Addy. Good luck, everybody. Oh, my donkeys. Amanda A is in the game. Wow. That's going to be, I'm telling you, she is a baller, no doubt. And, number 3 is Milena A. Milena is in the game. Okay, so some pretty good ballers there. Milena is a baller, I'm telling you right now. I'm picking 7th hour thus far. Wow. 7th hour's got some ballers. Okay, and they win a lot, too. They win the review game quite a bit. 8th hour, let's see who the district representatives from 8th hour are going to be. Number 10, again, number 10's been popular. That's Ethan J. Mr. Janky. Yes, sir. Ethan J on the clock. And we got baller number 9. That's my favorite number. My college football number. High school, I was number 4. That's Bryce J, baby. Bryce J representing. Wow. Look at how the numbers jump from 70 to 91. It looks like my plan worked for attendance issues. Sign of strength. Okay, let's get this thing going. Here's how this is going to work. I am so excited for this. This is really getting me fired up. Okay, I haven't checked the comments yet. I am going now to the comments. Let's go silent mode on the comments right now. Okay, and what we're going to do, let's keep those comments appropriate, by the way. I can see what you got here, okay? On the questions, I've got 3 questions. Whoever of those ballers, okay, Craig, Jacob J, A. Blair, Addie, Sophie Saz, Reese K, Jay Nager, Roman F, Amanda, Milena, Ethan J, and Bryce J, whoever puts the right answer in the chat first, okay, whoever gets it first will get the point. Okay, we'll get the point. Let's see how this bad boy works. We'll just give it a shot. Here we go. Question number 1, ballers. Be ready to type and chat in there as fast as possible. Here we go. Who was Mary Wollstonecraft's famous daughter? Write the name in the chat. Let's see what comes up here. The suspense. Who was Mary Wollstonecraft's famous daughter? Oh, my donkeys. Did I not predict this? Amanda Addy, Mary Shelley, point Amanda. So that's a point for 6th hour. 6th hour is on the board. Wow. Everybody else has the right answer. It's just that Amanda was first, as you can see in the chat. Your boy G. Phillips, the guy who made up the Urban Dictionary, he put Abraham Lincoln. Unfortunately, that is incorrect. Yeah, I think you need to study other things than the Urban Dictionary, Master Phillips. But hey, we still love you. All right. My prediction is pretty strong. I predicted 7th hour. I'm sorry, Amanda's representing 7th hour. I said 6th hour. 7th hour. G. Phillips says, close enough. Close enough. You know? Oh, close enough, you know? Yeah, sing, right? Sing. Okay, here we go. Next question is going to be question number 2 in the first ever Realm Hunger Games. This is fun. I'm having a blast. Okay, here we go. Are we ready, ballers? Name the country ruled by Frederick as an enlightened despot. Name the country ruled by Frederick the Great as an enlightened despot. Jacob J on the clock, representing second hour, just edged out Amanda. It's Prussia. Prussia, Jacob J. Well done, Jacob J on the board. So second hour is on the board. Okay, let's see what happens here. Wow, that's impressive, Master Jacob. But you know what? All the other representatives, a lot of the other representatives got it right too. So you guys are balling. It's all about how fast you can type it in there. Okay, so second hour and seventh hour tied right now. This is kind of like the tiebreaker. Here we go. Question number 3. Name the key figure who was afraid to leave the king's table to use the restroom. Whoa. Let's see who's got it. The suspense. Oh boy, I don't see any answers coming in yet. Are we stumped? Are we stumped? Game, set, match. Seventh hour, Amanda came through. Tycho Brahe. Wow. Tycho Brahe. Amanda representing seventh hour's got 2 out of the 3. Seventh hour wins the extra credit point. That's +1 tomorrow for seventh hour. Holy donkeys. Impressive, impressive, impressive. Well done. Well done. I hope that you had fun doing that. Special thanks to all of the participants. You did a great job. You really did. That was not easy. And hey, very proud of all of you. No doubt about it. Well done and well played. Okay. Roman, you did great, Roman. I'm sorry. This was much better than my coin flip. Much better. Okay. Hopefully you guys have checked in. I know that there's a lot of comments here, but I'm happy with what happened there. I think it was fair. I mean, I'm really excited that so many people were here, and really glad that you participated. Okay, one of the things that we need to talk about now are question and answer session. Okay, so let's go ahead, fire away with any questions that you have. I'll do my best to answer all of those. Guys, let's keep the comments appropriate, okay? Don't be sore losers. If you lost the Hunger Games, you lost, all right? We got to now it's time to focus on the questions. That was fun. We had fun. All right, Hudson Hitch, my main man, JJ this guy reminds me so much of JJ from the Outer Banks. JJ is my favorite character, so HH is my big-time baller in second hour. What is a good definition for the U.S. Constitution? All right, let's keep it simple here. U.S. Constitution is basically a document that provides, the rights and freedoms that citizens have, but also the limitations on what government can and cannot do. That's really what you want to know. It limits the power of the governing body. It allows for rights and freedoms to the citizen. So very John Locke oriented there. Okay, next, Master Wyatt. Do we have to know specific dates on the timeline? Not necessarily, but I think being able to put things in chronological order is important. So knowing what came before this and what happened after that, that's important. All right, we got a lot of questions coming in. Do we need to know? Yes. Okay. So, Chloe J, good question. The key inventions, there's that was in the notes, and I had you guys copy that down. So definitely, you're going to want to know those: telescope, microscope, barometer, thermometer. Yeah, those could definitely come into play on the quiz, no doubt. Nina, should we know the difference between Baroque and classical music? Also, do we have to decipher which musicians mentioned in the textbook did which style? Yes. So Baroque would be Bach, Handel, right? Anybody that was mentioned before the classical musicians would be Baroque, all right, in this chapter. So Bach, Handel, Baroque style, and then classical would be Haydn, right? Mozart, Beethoven. Now, key clue though that only the classical musicians were on the review sheet, so that's a clue for you. Biggest points of feminism that we need to know. Well, Cameron, I would say the biggest point is like the fight for education and the fight for equal opportunity for education. If you look at Mary Wollstonecraft, if you look at Emily de Châtelet, if you look at Mary Estelle, all mentioned in the readings and in the lectures, all of these females, these ballerinas, they were fighting for first education, second equal rights in marriage. Like there were things that men could do that women couldn't do in marriage. So they often wrote out and argued against that as well. Okay, let's see. Master Grant. No, if we have an SAW. If we have an SAW, an SAQ, I imagine Amanda's mentioning. What will it most likely be about? I haven't selected it yet. So that one's going to be a wild card, Amanda. That one would be like you just got to be prepared. Yeah. What is this? If you love yourself, does that make you a lotto? I guess by definition, yeah. I guess by definition that would work. But I think you should always love others first. I think that's important. Like I'm not on this live review because I love myself. I'm on because I love my students. Yeah. So there you go. Can I list all of the Enlightenment thinkers? Sure, I can. I pretty much did already. Enlightenment thinkers would be Rene Descartes, Francis Bacon, Wollstonecraft, Mary Estelle, Beccaria, Montesquieu, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, Voltaire, John Locke, Thomas Hobbes. There you go. All right. Moving our way down. Key pages for feminism. Jacob, it's like 3/4 of the way in 5.1. It's toward the end. It's after the halfway mark. It's toward the end. I don't remember the exact page right now, but it's one of those there. The only one that really is not on the review sheet, Master Roman, is Tycho Brahe. And Brahe is not on the review sheet. He was only in the live review part. So you won't really have to worry about those too much. Yeah, Jacob J, sign of strength. That's exactly what I said. I didn't see your comment, but sign of strength. Okay, any other questions, guys, that I can answer for you? That was a lot of fun, though. You got to admit, like win or lose, that was kind of fun, kind of exciting to see how that shook down. Might be a new weekly tradition that we've started. I'm going to wait. We've only been on 35 minutes, so it's really one of our shorter ones. So I'll wait a few moments to see if there's any comments, any questions. If you have any questions about life at this point, if you need some help, let me know. I got some time. I'd love to be of service or help you guys in any way that I can. But I'm excited for tomorrow's quiz, get back in the swing of things. Looking forward to it. Got to keep things positive. Yeah, something like that there. All right, I don't see any questions. I'll wait another minute or so. Looks like our numbers are dwindling. We're down to 67. So If there's anything else, let me know in the comments. Track practice was great. Track practice was great. I have a lot of really committed girls. They're doing really well. They're working hard. You know, I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. How many AP questions, G Phil? There's going to be 3 MCQs and a possible SAQ. So it would be 4 total questions, max. Yep, I agree with some of the comments. I'm not going to put them up there, but I agree. I agree fully. You know, I agree fully with the comments. You know, that's your boy. Sing, my man. Any other questions? You know. No. All right. Hey, listen. Final piece of advice: study your notes, read the AMSCO, quiz yourself off the review sheet, pray for the right things. Pray for the right things. You know. Okay. Hey, have a great night. Make sure you say thank you to your parents. Tell them that you love them. Express gratitude to the good Lord for all the blessings that have been bestowed upon you. And remember that we're really fortunate to be where we are, to have a roof over our heads and food to eat every day. So thank the good Lord during this Lenten season. God bless all of you. I love you very much, and I hope you do really well on tomorrow's quiz paper. Have a great night. Something like